Thank you for joining this webinar presentation entitled The Fundraising Cycle. This webinar is part of the Indiana Historical Society's Heritage Support Grants Program, made possible by Lilly Endowment Incorporated. My name's Bryce Gorman, and I'm the fundraising educator in local history services at the Indiana Historical Society. My goal is to help organizations build robust fundraising programs so that they can be effective at their mission. I'm responsible for the educational curriculum that is an important part of our Heritage Support Grants program. I offer free workshops, webinars, and consultations to organizations in Indiana. So, fundraising operates in a continuous relationship-based cycle. It starts with identifying potential donors to your organization. As you identify prospects, it becomes time to qualify those donors to see who are the most likely to give. Then it becomes necessary to cultivate that relationship in a genuine way through cultivation. Once the time is right, you can move into the solicitation. And finally, it's time to properly steward the donor through accountability and gratitude. So let's look at each of these steps individually. The first step in the fundraising cycle is identification. Who are your primary stakeholders? There are two different types of stakeholders in this process. The engaged stakeholders are people familiar with you and your mission. This would include board members, staff, volunteers, current donors, former donors, members, and say event attendees. These people know you and they like you. Affiliate stakeholders would be people who are unfamiliar with you. They might have never come through the door, maybe they're unaware you exist, but their interests are aligned with yours. For example, your organization and your local community foundation have aligned interests, that of enhancing the cultural assets of your county, even if the two of you do not have an existing relationship. So they would count as affiliate stakeholders. It's important to consider what information that you have about these prospective donors. Do you have the ability to contact them? Do you know about their interests? If the answer to this is no, how can you find the answers? This step is a great place to start involving your board. Ask the board or even your volunteers if they know any of the prospects that you've identified, whether their friends or family might be interested in your organization, or they know of people whom you have not already identified. Once you've identified potential donors, it's time to qualify the ones who could be the best potential donors there. It's important to note that best doesn't necessarily mean people with the most money. Money is only one factor in fundraising. A donor's capacity can be affected by several things. For instance, a farmer, they might have a great deal of assets on paper, but all those assets are tied to the farm. Uh, so a helpful way to determine an individual's capacity is based on wealth indicators. Wealth indicators might include family wealth, whether the family is continuously given to different causes, real estate, political giving. These are going to give more context to their philanthropic capacity. And you know your community. You know who does and does not have philanthropic interests or the ability to make money or make gifts. So, use the knowledge that you have at hand. Donors' inclination gives evidence of their interest in supporting your organization. Inclination is often determined by things such as past philanthropic support or board service to you or anyone else. The chart on the right divides up prospective donors into quadrants based on their capacity and their inclination. Um, your top donors are going to be the ones who have the funds to support you, but also have the interest to do so. An individual with, say, high capacity and low interest, this would be somebody who is, they have a lot of wealth, but they just haven't spent a lot of time around you. They need a little more relationship building. And then someone with high interest and low capacity, these folks are going to be the perfect annual donors. They're going to be great volunteers. They're going to be your best cheerleaders, and they're going to be there for you. Um, so, use your donors to the best of their abilities. So we have found donors, potential donors. We have qualified the best potential donors. Now it's time to cultivate those relationships. Cultivation is thoughtful, intentional relationship building. Thoughtful being that you have to constantly consider what's going to build that relationship with your donor in an organic and meaningful way. Your donors need to understand your mission and feel like they have a place in it. There's no way to fake or force this relationship. You have to build trust. It can take time. Some of the best ways to cultivate donors are informing them of your activities and plans, inviting them to see work in progress, take them behind the scenes, involve them in your decision making or your day-to-day activities, and inquiring about their own thoughts regarding your organization. These are going to move the relationship forward to the point where that solicitation just becomes natural. And there's no one size fits all for cultivation. It'll vary person to person what their interest is, the time that they have, but if you can do it thoughtfully and let them be a part of your organization, then that solicitation is going to become so much easier. But solicitations, it's only a small portion of the fundraising cycle, but it counts for so much. A solicitation involves asking for the right amount of money at the right time. And it's going to be built upon everything we've done previously, the relationship you cultivated and the research you did to qualify the individual that you identified, all for this solicitation. It's important to consider what's the right way to solicit an individual. The largest donors, the ones who are the high interest, high capacity, they should be solicited face to face. A face to face solicitation is the single best way to solicit someone. You have the highest chance to get a yes, and so this needs to be reserved for the biggest donors, the best donors, the top 10 donors. Some of your annual fund donors, though, maybe they're the ones who are in the high interest, low capacity. It might be better to solicit them through a slightly less personal means, a letter, email, or a call if you find that would be appropriate. While it's a little less personal than the face-to-face solicitation, this is going to be something that's easier to handle in larger quantities. Um, if you are trying to meet with every single annual donor, it's going to be very time consuming. So considering your own time restraints, some of the slightly less personal methods might be better. There are also solicitation methods that are impersonal. Cold calling, door-to-door solicitation, all of that would count there. So any organization that has, say, a donation box, that would be impersonal. It's just, there's no personality or personal touch attached to that. Okay, so it's time to celebrate. The check is in, all that hard work paid off, but the relationship is not over with. Stewardship is, in fact, an incredibly important step in the fundraising cycle. Proper stewardship of a donor, and at this point, they're going to be donors, includes genuine gratitude. This is often in the form of thank you notes or calls, or if it's an especially large gift, maybe a name plaque, but it also means accountability. Accountability includes showing that you've spent their money wisely, the fiscal responsibility, but it also means that you've shown social responsibility, you are doing exactly what you said you would do with the funds. If stewardship is done correctly, then you'll find that these donors are giving more and more of their time and or their money. Stewardship is going to renew that fundraising cycle. So when it's time for a building campaign or time to find event sponsors, those previous donors, the ones that you built that relationship with during the fundraising cycle, they're going to be the ones you're identifying for bigger and bigger projects. This is my contact information. Please feel free to get in touch with me if you have any questions about the presentation or if you'd like to talk through anything a little more. Thank you so much for joining me for the Fundraising Cycle webinar and taking the time to learn more about fundraising.